So many people, so some people have the great fortune of finding their passion, their talent, their skill all in one go at a very young age and developing that from a very young age. 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old. People like Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Nadal, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. In addition to this, some people had the resources to further their gift. In addition to this, some people had the great blessing of having the resources, oftentimes a father who had the skills. Oftentimes this meant a father who guided them and gave them practicing resources, like Mozart's father and Tiger Woods' father, which allowed them to progress even further given their natural skill and talent. However, most of us, pretty much the rest of us, pretty much 99% of us, oftentimes do not get that immediate boost. Oftentimes do not get that immediate boost right out of the gate. And that's fine. I've heard so many hundreds of stories of entrepreneurs who really thought they were lost, or that all things were done for, or they were just failing or broke or homeless when they were in their mid-20s, late 20s, and it took them, but they turned that around. And by the time they were in their 30s or sometimes their 40s, they had changed their life completely. So I think the lesson here is not to give up, and sometimes it takes time to figure out what you truly want. And maybe it will all come together. Sometimes your particular gift or skill or whatever else is unique or different in a way where it can't just be where it's not just something that immediately manifests itself and you start and you know what it is from an early age, and it gets developed, and then you can immediately start implementing it. There's hundreds upon hundreds of entrepreneurs. There's hundreds of entrepreneurs and successful people out there who are no smarter than the average person, who are not exceptionally gifted or intelligent or genius or prodigy or super skilled like Warren Buffett or Michael Jordan. They were just better at developing certain laws of success that you can start developing and implementing and getting better at today. There's two great books by Napoleon Hill. One's called Think and Grow Rich. The second's called Laws of Success. I highly recommend the second one, where it goes into these big laws of success that every one of us can start implementing today. That's not isolated to only the great people. Will Smith once said that there is nothing great that separates super successful people from average individuals. We can all be great. And I want to leave you with one final example and call it a day. Jack Ma, who is now a billionaire and founder to one of the most impactful, influential companies to Chinese businesses. Alibaba. He was rejected. He was rejected from tons of jobs. 11 or 12 jobs. He was rejected from KFC, and it was even worse because he was the only one rejected. Everyone else that applied got accepted but him. But he never let self-pity hurt him. But he never let self-pity ruin him. He was never angry or bitter or frustrated. He didn't let weird standards of comparison that modern society has put on us destroy him. At the time he had a job as an English teacher in China, and he loved it. You know, even to this day, even though he has all this money, he says that those days when he was an English teacher and he was barely making a few dollars every day, he said those were amazing, glorious days. I'm guessing it's because he loved what he did, I'm guessing it's because he loved teaching English, which I can tell he did. And his life was simple, but it was enough. He had enough food on the table each day. He had a warm, comfortable bed to sleep in. But then you might be like, oh, well, why did he choose to become a billionaire and found this crazy big company if he was already content and satisfied, even though he had been rejected by all these jobs? Well, that's a big story for another day. There's a whole documentary on it, but basically he saw the potential of the internet, but no one else did, and he really wanted to bring this to fruition and help a lot of small businesses. And he did. He eventually did. So that's all I gotta say. As always, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.